All right, let's talk about the Indianapolis Colts and Anthony Richardson and this unique style of play that they pulled off against the Tennessee Titans to allow them to get a victory. And hey, they're in a situation now where if they're going to make the playoffs, they have to win their next two games, and they're really finding a way to do that. It's a very run-heavy offense at this point. The overall numbers were they passed the ball 11 times and ran it 50 times in this game, and it worked out. Let's talk about how it was able to work out. So first, just something like this, which is going to be, so you see the blocking concept on the screen. There is an unblocked Tennessee player in the area, that guy, because you can't block everybody, right? That's kind of the thing, but using a quarterback to run just helps you out so much. Watch as Richardson's going to kind of fake as though he's going to pitch the ball to Jonathan Taylor, and that little fake is going to mean everything, because look at the Tennessee player who I've circled in white. Watch as he starts to go with Taylor, and by the time he realizes Richardson has the ball, it's too late, and then Richardson is off. He's able to pick up a good amount of yards after that. So, again, there's just so much value in something like this. Like this play is another one where it's going to be a 3rd down and 3 here at the 5-yard line. So important play, right? You don't want to settle for 3. You want to be able to get the ball into the end zone. Richardson's running a route going more towards, not running a route, he's running the ball more towards the top of the screen. You see the blocking concept. And again, in this situation, just think about it logically, right? Typically, if you hand the ball off to your running back, well, that means you have 9 blockers because the quarterback and halfback aren't blocking. Whereas if you do this, you now essentially have 10 blockers. So it means it's 10 on 11 instead of 9 on 11. And here with the fake to Taylor a little bit, Taylor ran the other direction. It works out enough that everyone's able to make their blocks, because that's another thing. The Colts are making their blocks well. Richardson runs the play well, and they're able to get into the end zone. It's just a huge advantage having these plays in the playbook. Forget about being able to execute them. Just having them in the playbook matters a ton. And of course, we got to go over here because Jonathan Taylor was on a mission this week after obviously his blunder last week. So, a couple of these are just traditional handoffs. You have the blocking concept you see on your screen. That Tennessee player is the closest unblocked player. And again, this is a traditional handoff, so you have the 2 unblocked players on this one. However, he doesn't really take a great route to Taylor, and Taylor's able to read this, run straight up the gut, and is going to be in position to where he can, make this a good gain already, right? Now, the safety is coming in. He's the other unblocked guy. He's coming in to make a tackle. And this is kind of the issue, you could say, with a running offense, is that it's really hard to get explosive plays. Even good runs like this one, it's still only going to go for like 8 yards. And then, penalties could happen. Like drives can get stalled that way. So that's the concern. You need to find a way to get explosives. And the way you do that is to have a running back who can make a safety miss. Watch as that's exactly what Taylor does. It's just, again, good adjustment by Taylor. I'm going to have to pause it just for a second for copyright reasons, but once he gets past that safety, he is gone. He gets into the end zone for a touchdown. It's great stuff by Jonathan Taylor, right? This is really good stuff by him. Well blocked by the Colts. You always have to give the offensive lineman credit, but there's the whole question of how much do running backs matter? Well, on this play, a decent running back gets 8 yards. Elite one gets a touchdown. He was able to get a touchdown. And heading over here, that was not his only big play of the game. We also had this one where Richardson takes a snap, gives the ball to Taylor right here. Again, well blocked. Taylor's able to get into this position. Once again, the safety is the guy who's trying to come over and make a tackle. And again, it's just making him miss. Taylor just kind of sidesteps just a little bit further towards the outside, but he's just so fast. He blows by him. Again, I'll have to pause for copyright reasons, but it's just speed right here. That's really what it comes down to. I should say acceleration of being able to get to his top speed so quickly. Safety takes a bad angle, but usually safeties take a bad angle because the running back was able to accelerate so well. That's what happened on really both these plays, and Taylor holds on to the ball, into the end zone and is able to get a couple big touchdowns that really helped, change the game. It also can help out in the passing game, right? A big part of this season still is trying to develop Anthony Richardson, and, trying to run the ball a lot can help out in that, can help out the passing game, make it easier for him to develop as a passer. So, like, this play, we don't even need to get into the X's and O's. Just look at how Tennessee is playing this. They're trying to defend against the run, even with a 3rd down and 3 situation, because the Colts do have timeouts here with 22 seconds left. So the Colts are going to run this play where they're trying to hit Josh Downs, who's running more towards the bottom of the screen. They have a receiver out to block. And really, that Titans player is the only guy who can come over and make a play here. It's one-on-ones on the outside, essentially, so you're going with a screen pass, so you're not even, hoping that Richardson can make a tough throw, letting him make a relatively easy one. Watch, Richardson, to his credit, turns and fires that one right on the money, which is easier said than done. I mean, you don't really get the exact hand placement on the ball right away if the snap's not perfect. Like, it's not so easy to do. He does a good job on that one. And now for Downs, there is still a player who can tackle him. However, once Downs makes this move, he's able to stay in bounds and he gets a touchdown. There's no one else there. So again, it makes these situations easier. So it's not just the running game that works. I mean, you look at the Baltimore Ravens, early on in Lamar's career, a lot of throws he was making was to open guys because his running threat was such a big deal. Now let's head over here. What are the drawbacks of this offense? Well, one that we don't even really need to talk about too much, but the kind of obvious one is if Richardson takes on extra hits, then more likely to get injured, and he's the quarterback, that would be a big deal. Okay, sure. But what else is the drawback of having him run this much? Well, for one thing, you're going to get more third downs, right? That's just kind of naturally how it works. Now, the hope is when you set up plays like this, which is a 3rd down and 2, you'll be able to convert most of these 3rd downs. Here, though, it's, well played by Tennessee. They're able to, stop Jonathan Taylor. The Colts don't convert there, then have to give the ball away. So that's one of the downsides. It's just you're going to get more 3rd downs. You have to have a high conversion rate on these 3rd down and shorts that you're kind of intentionally trying to create, but you got to make sure you convert them. They converted most of them, but they did not convert all of them, so that's a drawback. But as a whole, I mean, I think it's the right strategy. Now, last topic I want to discuss is still the passing, which, we say, okay, the logic here is to help Richardson develop as a passer. He went 7 for 11 in this game, although, a lot of the completions weren't the highest degree of difficulty plays, I will say, and he did have a couple of negative plays. Nothing crazy, because, again, 11 passes, but it's still fair to talk about the negatives in the passing game, which still do exist. You see this play, it's going to be, you have a route going over the middle against zone coverage. You can see why you would look towards that route. Richardson takes the snap, and what's happening here is, so there are 2 safeties deep, and Richardson saying, okay, my receiver is, beating the safety on that side of the field. The issue is there's no other receiver keeping the safety who was towards the bottom of the screen in that area. So because of that, he can read this play and get over. Doesn't mean you can't make this throw, but you have to get it there in a hurry, and Richardson's kind of throwing this as though the safety isn't coming over, so I think he just didn't read that the safety came over, it's a tough play, right? This is a tough play. It's a good defensive play for sure. Nevertheless, though, it still results in an interception that was not technically in the red zone. They were at the 27, but in field goal range, which is not what you want to do. So, okay, it was a negative, right? Not the biggest negative in the world, but a negative. And also heading over here, he had a couple of missed throws as well. This one, which might have been a communication thing, but still was off target. And then this one, which he was under pressure for 100%, but still, due to the pressure, is not able to really make a catchable ball there that would have gone for at least, 5 yards, if not a first down. So, it's still not perfect for Richardson, but that's okay. You don't need him to be perfect. And, this is a game where, I've been someone who's been very critical of Richardson. I'm he was a positive asset in this game. They don't win this game with Joe Flacco, probably. Maybe they do, because they got up so big. It'd be weird. But they certainly don't put up 38 with Joe Flacco out there, right? And that's the goal. That's what you're going for, is just trying to get as much value out of him. Let him be a runner. Let him kind of, have that be a big positive aspect of his game. Rely on Jonathan Taylor, and then let the passing kind of, come as it goes, right? So that's kind of how I see it. But yeah, those are my thoughts. What are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.